video, so I gotta tell you about it. You're probably wondering why I'm so sad about this situation.
God,
my Shayla. I cannot believe I'm making this video. Genuinely, I've been aware of this situation since last year when it came out. I just didn't know I was gonna make a video on it because this is something that needs to be talked about. Synn, what are you talking about? Today I'm talking about a group called Morgue, but we're gonna be focusing on one of the members, Zillakami. Obvious trigger warning, these are allegations. I do not support or condone any of the actions of the artist, nor do I wish to listen to them anymore after this. Before we get into all of this, thank you so much for 3,000. Y'all just keep doing it. The way we're going right now, I feel like we're really close to 5K, so I really want to do something special for it. Leave your suggestions down below. I'll pick the best one. You can join my Discord. I would love to get to know more. I would love to get to know more of you guys. If you'd like to talk to me personally and find like-minded people, come join. So let's get into it. Who is Morgue? Morgue consists of 3 members: Zillakami, known producer Thrax, and Zillakami was born in Bayshore, New York, and was named Junius Rogers on September 20th, 1998, making him 26 years old today. Keep that in mind. My lips look dry. He grew up in the poorer parts of Long Island and described them as white trash trailer park areas. He found himself hanging around gang members with firearms and just being a general delinquent. If you didn't know, Zilla was a ghostwriter for 6ix9ine in the late 2010s. That makes me feel really fucking old. Zilla and 6ix9ine released Hellsling Station and Yokai. In an interview with No Jumper, he later tries to describe the way that he writes his songs for 2 people.
Were those the first like songs or videos that you guys did together, or was that how you got into rap? Was through him and 6ix9ine and shit at first?
Well, I was just writing for everybody, you know, just like I was writing songs where it should have been 2 people. I would write like back and forth, so, like I'd write like a 4 that was like, and I'd write a 4 in a different flow, and then a 4 and then a 4, and I like will put it together, and I'd be like, this would be better if one person was talking gangster and then one person was talking cryptic shit, and then gangster back and forth. That's how Hellsing was. I wrote it like that, and I was like, I can't have one nigga just saying this because it's supposed to be like a conversation.
We see this style in most of Zilla's discography, with cryptic methodical messages from Zilla's verses, followed by more aggressive, angry verses from Sauce. I hate him. I skip him every time. Back to Zillakami and 6ix9ine. As you know, 6ix9ine was obviously facing some legal issues regarding kids. 6ix9ine later pleaded guilty to using a minor in a sexual performance. This led Morgue to stop associating with 6ix9ine in general. It also started a beef between 6ix9ine and Zilla.
Yo, I'm here. Zilla don't want to come outside. That's Zilla right there. He don't want to come outside. Look, yo, Zilla, come outside.
No.
He don't want to come outside. He locked himself inside a tattoo shop.
If you want a whole video on that, I can get into it. It's very lengthy. Let's get into the music. I want to start off by saying the lyricism from Zillakami is some of the best I've heard since X. You can call me corny if you want to. I would describe Zilla's music as a mix of aggressive distorted sounds with heavy influences of punk, metal, and trap. With very graphic music videos like Shinners and 33rd Black Glass.
I mean, they just rated our shit videos on Instagram.
Right, them niggas was dumb, like happy when they ran in, like, yeah, we're gonna fuck it.
Like, where's the money? Where's the money machine?
Was there ever a like a rocket launcher controversy or something?
That's why, yo, they came in, they were like, where the fuck is the AT4? And I was like, I barely even know the name of my shit. So
Yeah.
The style can be very intense, dark, blending hard-hitting gritty beats with distorted vocals and screaming elements. It's not an easy listen. It's designed to be confrontational, energetic, and emotionally charged. If you enjoy artists like Denzel Curry, you might recognize some themes of anger, frustration, and rebellion. I really enjoy his personal songs. The ones without Sauce Moolah in them, genuinely, I don't know, it's just horrendous. Take a listen. Aside from his ultra-depressing music, most of his songs aim to make you feel resilient and to embrace your chaos. In my personal experience, I found Zilla's music very therapeutic because of the way he describes certain situations that I related to, like the song Dead Girl and Space Cowboy on the Dog Boy album. These songs made me feel less alone at the time, and that's how most of his songs made me feel before I was utterly disgusted with his music. If you didn't know, the song Dead Girl and Space Cowboy are explained on an interview with Brandon Buckingham.
What's your favorite song off the album?
I think Space Cowboy probably has like the most meaning. Space Cowboy and Dead Girl.
What is the meaning, if you don't mind me asking?
My friend killed himself, shot himself in the woods. And Space Cowboy is basically the whole situation in like a dog's perspective, like a dog did it. Basically, we went, what was it, first verse was, feared it was a dog from the side of the tracks, took a little walk and he never came back. Will find your son, told his mom to relax, he would never go anywhere without his baseball bat, which was like baseball. So like, basically first verse we find him, and it's like we'll see you in space, and then you come back on the verse, we switched it up and we're like, had a 6-hour, one in the mag and a book full of notes in a small backpack. Walked in the woods, dropped a note to be read, took out his gun, put one in his head, blood in the sky, and the leaves turn red and the deers run away while the children in bed. We have a bunch of deers out here and you see those run away. myself, I'm pretty sure the deer's always gonna run away, and I tried to paint the picture where like the blood hits the leaves and everything. Because you think about it, it's like pretty. At the same time, it's brutal. And also it's like a tribute song, because like my homie passed.
For context of this next clip, I want to bring to light that the song Dead Girl is about his passed on ex.
That was super hard to record. Like, I barely could record that song. Same with Dead Girl. I gotta record this shit.
And what's the meaning behind Dead Girl?
Basically, you know, I told you about my exit within the car.
Yeah.
And basically that was like the breakdown of like everything, you know? It's so weird because I made her die at the end of the song and she wasn't dead yet. I was saying like that lifestyle's gonna kill you, and then she died and I was like, what the
I do want to mention that the Dog Boy album was the first solo album he has ever produced. I was waiting for a solo album for so long at that point because, oh my god, Sauce! After years of listening to him, I idolized him. This is me saying right now to never idolize me or any people on social media. I named my lizard Godzilla. You see that up there? That thing right here? It's a beware of dog sign. If you know, you know. I had some crust pants with a homemade patch on it. I did a portrait, posted it on the subreddit. I guess you could say I was a super fan, a stan even, but I don't associate with that anymore. I'm no longer a war dog. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that I also dyed my hair green because of him. Crazy, right? A few years later, after a good streak of group projects, most recent being My Bloody America, great album. Still utterly disgusted by their music now though. The process of the production of My Bloody America, another personal album of Zillakami's was leaked. Audio Creep. Again, this just makes me so sad because this album again was just splendid. The lyricism in this one was great. It brought me to tears several times. The leak of this album made him want to quit music, which is understandable because of how vulnerable he was on these songs. It just feels different. And I guess to have something like that leaked out to the public without your consent makes you feel blah blah blah. You don't care. Do we have to talk about it?
What? Zilla
Yeah.
did what? Zilla did what? Zilla did what?
It's time to get into the nitty gritty of things. What the happened? Warning for drugs, sexual assault, and general disturbing topics. Again, this is all alleged. I got most of this information from a Google Doc from a Redditor by the name of u/Jay's Revenge. On July 10th, 2024, Zillakami's ex, Deki, went on a rant on Twitter about how Zillakami was a horrible person and a pedophile. I will say she has poor grammar, so you can pause to read if you want to. She proceeded to write this. I have never in my life come for anyone's career or what they have done, but Zillakami is a and one of the most evil people I've ever known and robbed me of everything in my life. And that I'm basically guessing she means like they basically just pull a bunch of underage girls backstage and do a bunch of unthinkable things, which is not too far-fetched. It happens a lot. She proceeds to write, I have time today. I have screenshots of Zillakami in his 20s linking sleazy skis when she was 15. If you don't know what that means they got together and they hooked up. People then began to say she was lying because she wasn't 15 at the time. But people failed to realize that she wasn't talking about herself. She was talking about another girl. Sleazy skis. Zillakami fans proceeded to DM her on Twitter, and she proceeded to send a fake screenshot. People were discrediting and labeling her as a jealous ex. Until the next day, July 11th. Sleazy herself decided to speak out since she saw the fake screenshot going around and was getting harassed and spammed in her DMs. She came out and said she never wanted to speak about anything, but she feels like she needs to since people were lying on her name and speaking on her behalf. She felt as though she either had to lie and deny or speak out and tell the truth. Following this, Zillakami's comments were being flooded with questions about what was going on. When this was happening, he deleted a majority of the comments and blocked people who were talking about it. Red flag. In these screenshots, he's dodging the whole minor thing completely and talking only about his ex who took advantage of him for money. He could have easily said, no, I didn't sleep with a minor, in his response, but there wasn't a single mention of it. After this poor girl is getting harassed in her DMs for not showing any evidence, she tries to find whatever's left of what Zillakami hasn't deleted. Let's read the text message that she found. You go to school anyways, that's something, lol. I'm guessing he deleted messages from right here because a couple days later she responds, anytime, but it won't be like last time. I have a boyfriend. Thank you. Don't know what she's responding to. But he goes on to say, do you still do shrooms? She says, yeah, I do. Not OD, but it's for laughs and giggles. She goes on to ask about an anime that I guess he mentioned, and he goes on to say, it's an anime that's trippy as fuck, supposed to be weird. She goes on to say, ooh, let's do it. So, they're planning on meeting up again. I guess this is before he ghosted her. She posted on her story later saying, he blocked me after we last talked and deleted lots of his messages. Y'all want the proof so bad. This proves my point. Nobody believes victims unless there's tangible proof. There will always be victims who don't have any evidence. Y'all want to hold on to your favorite rapper so bad. It's hilarious. You forced my hand, so I dealt it. Did you know she was still getting harassed? For days? These messages were in 2020, which would have made Zilla about 23 years old at the time, with a then 15-year-old. He's talking about school and mentioning shrooms, corroborating with the first encounter that they had. After posting this, of course it was accused of being fake. We're asking for a screen recording, so she provided one. Of course this wasn't good enough, so she provided another one. It had his whole Instagram in there. What more do you need? This wasn't enough for Zillakami fans, so they continue to harass her and bombard her family now. The article says people began to say she was lying about her age, and she was actually 18 at the time, making her 23 or 24 now, which isn't true. At the time of this article, Sleazy turned 20, making her probably turning 21 this year. The reason people were saying this is because Sleazy has tattoos. That is the most stupidest thing ever. Zillakami had tattoos at like 16, 17. What the And like I said, they went to go stalk her fucking mom and found out that, oh, yeah, she was actually 15 at the time. There's no faking that. It's her mom's Instagram account. After this, she was seen as a clout chaser because she promoted her clothing brand while this was still going on. Let me just get this one thing straight. She didn't want to talk about this, and she had this clothing brand pre-planned. She wasn't about to halt her profit over this, so respects to her. But on July 13th, Sleazy came out one last time to say something. My final message. I know recent events have been a lot to take in, and I just want to thank everyone who has shown me support and empathy. I know it's hard to believe everything you see on the internet, but I've tried to be as genuine and truthful as I can be. This is my truth, and I came out with my story because I was put in a spot where I either had to lie and deny or speak out and tell the truth. If legal action is taken and I am reached out to, I will fully be prepared to speak out again. There is only the truth, and I will provide it in a legal setting if I have to. I will not halt my life and my plans in spite of what I was pushed to do. People asked me for the truth, I gave it. People asked me for proof, I provided. I never brought this to light to begin with. I've already made my peace with it, as I've already mentioned. And to those who are or have gone through similar situations, I hope you as well may find peace and strength to speak up for yourself if you have to. I don't want my experience and the hate to scare anyone going through similar circumstances. There will be hate no matter what. We can't control others, but we can control our actions. The world will always be ugly, but you can still make it beautiful. Shy. I can't snap with my left hand. After Shy stopped talking about this situation, a user by the name of Bubble0739 posted old screenshots about a time Zillakami DM'd her in 2020 when she was 17, 1 month away from turning 18. When she had told Zilla this, his response was 1 month cowboy emoji. You think I'm done? Oh, he did this shit. A day after that, this user came online and posted about her experience when she was 17 and he was 21. He wanted to eat her while she was on her period, and also wanted to take videos and pictures of her naked. The document continues. It says, yes, she was 17. Some people wouldn't consider it wrong, but she was literally still in school. It's not right to have a conversation with a minor, a sexual one at that. The adult should be responsible in understanding the difference in maturity levels and the influence of fame on young people. The next part of the article really opened my eyes to how ignorant Zilla was as a person. In reply to the previous user, another person came out. This time, she was talking about how Zilla invited her to a hotel without age checking. Now, the poster wasn't a minor at the time, but this goes to show that he is just simply not giving a fuck. In more recent evidence, it's been proven that Molly Santana, Molly Santana, that Molly Santana. Zillakami was seen with a 14-year-old Molly Santana. Disgusting! Disgusting! I understand that was a lot to take in. I really hope you're still with us. The whole situation suggests that the music industry, a lot like other entertainment industries, can enable or overlook harmful behaviors when profit and fame are prioritized over accountability. I just want to say there were so many signs. This is a tweet from a girl back in 2020 talking about how Zilla follows half of the girls from her high school. Other instances of people calling out Zillakami years before allegations came out. There's this one and that one. I bet you're wondering what happened after all of this. You know, there's a lot of evidence that came out. There's a lot of girls that got hurt by this guy, right? He did take the legal route, posting on his Instagram story a court document, making it seem like this was the holy grail of all proofs clearing Zilla. Zilla fans really grabbed onto this one and was like, oh yeah, they took that shit and ran. But a lot of people assumed that this was a lawsuit against the minor situation, and some saw this as him exposing the victim for not being a minor at the time, but something was fishy. The court case wasn't about the minor situation at all, but about a restraining order on Decky of all people, his ex, that exposed all of this to begin with. This next segment, I got all this information from Reddit user Pingu2222. She has counts of harassment, assault, stalking, etc. So apparently she blackmailed him for money. That's why she exposed all of this. He had to cancel his upcoming tour. He mentioned he didn't want to speak out initially until he had the proper legal support, which I get, but you still could have said you didn't sleep with the minor. Confirms that his first initial Instagram story was about Decky, and apparently she's also the one leaking all his music. On the live, he continues to tell his fans that switched up to burn or throw away their merch and to cover up tattoos. Basically telling them to stand on business, I guess. What I have to say to that is, to the people that don't listen to City Morgue anymore, don't feel bad. You didn't switch up because you didn't want to continue to support a piece of shit. Just to know that he still hasn't said anything about this is really alarming and like disgusting. And a lot of people will still say, you know, why didn't she come out with this sooner? She could have just talked about it herself. She explained it. She didn't want to come out with this because she knew this was gonna happen. But let me break it down to you. We can talk about power dynamics. Celebrities often have significant power, influence, and resources, which can make victims feel intimidated or fearful to speak out. There's fear of not being believed, obviously. They might get their stories dismissed, ridiculed, and there's often skepticism about the credibility, especially of celebrities with a bigger fan base. Last thing I want to talk about is the psychological trauma and lack of support you're gonna get with these types of situations. The trauma associated with the event may make it hard to come forward. The emotional toll can cause confusion, shame, or fear that they won't be able to cope with the aftermath. Victims may not necessarily have the proper support systems, and they will likely feel isolated or unsure of where to turn for help when they come forward. Really hope you're still with us. I know it sucks when your favorite rapper or artist turns out to be a horrible person, obviously, but the way his cult-like fan base just dug into these girls just shows we need more respect for possible victims. You should never fake any of these stories. The people that do make it extremely hard for the actual victims to come forward. We need to take every victim story as their truth until more information about their abuser comes out. It just causes more damage to pick apart and attack these hurt and traumatized people. I hope I could educate you a little bit on Zillakami and his effects on the underground. Let me know in the comments, do you still support him? Are you gonna still support him? Would you call him a hypocrite for not associating with 6ix9ine anymore? Anyways, all my social medias are down below, as well as the documents that I used in today's video. Don't forget to join my Discord. See you next time. Bye bye.
And I don't care what you have to say in the comments. All you guys that like Sauce Moolah to this day are stinky and disgusting. What? See, you're making her anxious now because I'm anxious. I'm anxious.